Years after Byrd's death, a diary surfaced, a document purportedly penned by the admiral himself. It chronicled an extraordinary experience, a top-secret flight over the North Pole in 1947 that challenged everything we thought we knew about our world. This was no ordinary expedition. This was a journey into the unknown, a glimpse into a reality that defied conventional wisdom. The diary, if authentic, held within its pages the key to a secret so profound, so earth-shattering that it could rewrite history as we know it. It spoke of a hidden land, a lush paradise existing within the hollow earth, a place teeming with life and inhabited by a civilization far advanced than our own. The diary's entries were detailed, filled with observations and technical jargon that hinted at the authenticity of Byrd's experience. Could this be real? Could Admiral Byrd, the renowned explorer, have stumbled upon a secret so well guarded, so fantastic, that it had remained hidden for centuries? The world held its breath as researchers and skeptics alike delved into the diary's contents, eager to unravel the enigma that was Admiral Byrd's secret. The idea of a hollow Earth, while seemingly outlandish, was not new. For centuries, the concept had captured the imagination of writers, philosophers, and scientists alike. From ancient myths to modern theories, the notion of a hidden world beneath our feet persisted, a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Some theories proposed the existence of vast caverns and subterranean seas, while others envisioned an entire civilization thriving within the Earth's core. These theories, often relegated to the realm of science fiction, gained a sudden resurgence of interest with the emergence of Byrd's diary. Could Admiral Byrd's account breathe new life into these long-dismissed theories? Could his diary hold the key to proving the existence of a world within our world, a hidden realm waiting to be discovered? The possibility, however improbable, was too tantalizing to ignore. The date was February 19, 1947. A crisp chill hung in the air as Admiral Byrd and his crew made their final preparations for the flight. Excitement crackled among the men, a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. They were embarking on a journey into the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Arctic, a land where nature held dominion and the unexpected lurked around every corner. Byrd, ever the meticulous leader, went over every detail, ensuring that the aircraft, a specially modified B-29 Superfortress, was in peak condition. The success of the mission, the safety of his men, depended on it. Supplies were checked and double-checked, navigation instruments calibrated to perfection. Nothing was left to chance. At precisely 0610 hours, the engines roared to life, their powerful rumble echoing across the icy landscape. The massive plane shuddered, slowly taxiing towards the designated runway. Inside the cockpit, Byrd and his crew went through their final checks, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of instrument panels. With a surge of power, the B-29 lifted off the ground, its shadow racing across the snow. Byrd, his eyes fixed on the horizon, guided the plane northward into the heart of the Arctic wilderness. Below, the frozen landscape stretched out like an endless white canvas, its stark beauty both mesmerizing and daunting. The initial hours of the flight were uneventful. The Pratt & Whitney engines hummed rhythmically, propelling the aircraft steadily northward. Routine radio checks with base camp confirmed that all was well. Byrd, ever the vigilant commander, kept a watchful eye on the instruments, his years of experience guiding his every decision. As the hours passed, a sense of isolation enveloped the crew. The vastness of the Arctic, its silence broken only by the drone of the engines, had a way of amplifying the solitude. Yet there was also a strange beauty to it, a sense of awe at the raw power and indifference of nature. It was around 0900 hours that the first sign of something unusual occurred. Byrd, peering out the cockpit window, noticed a strange discoloration in the ice below. It was a yellowish hue, spread out in a linear pattern. almost like a road cutting across the pristine white expanse. Intrigued, Bird altered course slightly, circling the area for a closer look. As they flew over the anomaly, the yellowish tint became more pronounced, interspersed with patches of reddish-purple. It was a sight unlike anything Bird had ever witnessed in all his years of Arctic exploration. He quickly contacted base camp, relaying his observations. The response was a mixture of curiosity and puzzlement. Theories were exchanged, but none could adequately explain the strange coloration. Bird, ever the pragmatist, logged the anomaly in his flight log, his curiosity piqued. No sooner had they left the discolored ice behind than the compass began to behave erratically. The needle spun wildly, while the gyroscope oscillated back and forth as if caught in some invisible maelstrom. Bird, his brow furrowed in concentration, tried to regain control, but the instruments seemed to have a mind of their own. A sense of unease settled over the cockpit. The instruments, their reliability now in question, were all that stood between them and being hopelessly lost in the vast Arctic wilderness. Bird, drawing on his years of experience, tried to remain calm, but the situation was unlike anything he had encountered before. Then, as suddenly as it began, the strange behavior ceased. The compass needle steadied, the gyroscope stopped oscillating. It was as if they had passed through some invisible barrier, leaving the anomaly behind. But the encounter left an unsettling feeling in its wake, a sense that they were venturing into uncharted territory, both literally and figuratively. The compass had barely settled when a new sight emerged on the horizon, something that sent a jolt of disbelief through Bird. Mountains. Towering, majestic peaks rose up from the endless expanse of ice and snow, their jagged silhouettes stark against the pale sky. But how could this be? They were hundreds of miles from any known landmass. Bird's charts, the most detailed available, showed nothing but desolate ice in this region. He checked and rechecked their position, his mind struggling to reconcile what his eyes were seeing with what he knew to be true. The mountains were unmistakable, their presence growing larger with every passing minute. They were flying towards a geographical impossibility, a contradiction that defied all known maps and charts. A sense of awe, mixed with a growing unease, settled over Bird. What they were seeing shouldn't exist. It was as if they had stumbled upon a hidden fold in the fabric of reality, a place where the rules of the known world no longer applied. As they drew closer, the mountain range resolved itself into a series of valleys and peaks, their slopes covered in a blanket of pristine snow. But something was amiss. Nestled among those frozen peaks, Bird spotted something that sent a shiver down his spine. A valley. Not a barren, ice-choked ravine, but a verdant, lush valley bursting with life and color. It was a scene that seemed to belong to a different world, a stark contrast to the icy desolation that surrounded it. Streams, their waters sparkling in the sunlight, meandered through meadows of vibrant green. Trees, their branches heavy with foliage, lined the banks of a river that flowed through the heart of the valley. Bird's mind reeled. It was an impossibility, a geographical anomaly that defied all logical explanation. Yet there it was, spread out before them in all its impossible glory. The impossible valley, a beacon of life in a world of ice and death. Unable to resist the allure of the valley, Bird ordered the plane into a descent, carefully navigating through the mountain passes. As they flew lower, the details of the valley became clearer. And then, Bird saw something that nearly made him doubt his sanity. Animals. Large, lumbering creatures were grazing in the meadows, their forms strangely familiar yet utterly alien. At first he thought they were elephants, their massive forms casting long shadows across the grasslands. But as they drew closer, Bird realized that these were no ordinary elephants. Their tusks were longer, more curved, their bodies covered in a thick coat of hair. Mammoths. The creatures, thought to be extinct for millennia, were alive and well in this hidden valley. Bird watched in astonishment as they moved with a grace that belied their size, their trumpeting calls echoing through the valley. The discovery of the mammoths was shocking enough, but what Bird saw next pushed him to the very edge of belief. As they flew further into the valley, a glint of light on the horizon caught his eye. It was a faint shimmer at first, like a mirage dancing in the distance. But as they drew closer, the shimmer resolved itself into something far more substantial, far more awe-inspiring. A city, not a crude collection of huts, but a gleaming metropolis of soaring towers and shimmering structures, its architecture unlike anything Bird had ever seen. The city seemed to radiate light, its buildings pulsating with a kaleidoscope of colors that shifted and swirled before his eyes. It was a sight that belonged more to a dream than to reality, a testament to an advanced civilization that had somehow remained hidden from the outside world. As Bird stared in wonder at the city, a chilling thought crossed his mind. What else might be hidden in this impossible valley, this lost world at the top of the world? The appearance of the city, a beacon of civilization in the vast Arctic wastes, filled Bird with a strange mixture of awe and apprehension. It was a sight that defied logic, a testament to a level of technological advancement that dwarfed anything known to the outside world. But before he could dwell on the implications of this discovery, a new and even more unsettling phenomenon unfolded before his eyes. Two strange objects, their shapes unlike anything Bird had ever encountered, emerged from the direction of the city, their movements swift and silent. They were disc-shaped, their surfaces shimmering with an ethereal glow, as if powered by an unknown energy source. As they approached, Bird's plane felt strangely weightless, caught in an invisible grip that defied the laws of aerodynamics. The controls, though still responsive, seemed sluggish, as if some unseen force was guiding their movements. The radio crackled to life, and a voice speaking in perfect English but with a slight accent that Bird couldn't quite place, filled the cockpit. "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain," the voice boomed, its tone firm yet strangely calming. Fear gave way to a strange sense of calm as Bird listened to the voice on the radio, its words both reassuring and utterly bewildering. He had stumbled upon something beyond comprehension, a reality that challenged everything he thought he knew about the world. "We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes," the voice continued, its tone brooking no argument. "Relax, Admiral, you are in good hands." True to their word, the mysterious craft escorted Bird's plane towards the city, their movements precise and synchronized. The landing, if it could be called that, was surprisingly smooth. The plane seemed to glide effortlessly towards the ground, as if guided by an invisible hand, coming to a gentle stop on what appeared to be a landing platform made of a translucent material. As Bird and his radio man stepped out of the plane, they were greeted by two tall, blonde-haired figures. Their movements were fluid and graceful, their expressions serene and welcoming. They wore simple, close-fitting uniforms that seemed to shimmer in the strange light that permeated the city. Section 3. An Audience with the Master. With a mixture of curiosity and apprehension, Bird and his radio man followed their enigmatic host through the city, their senses overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of this otherworldly place. The buildings, crafted from a crystalline material that seemed to glow from within, soared skyward, their designs both elegant and impossibly advanced. Strange, silent vehicles moved effortlessly through the air, their movements as graceful as birds in flight. They were led to a large dome structure, its entrance flanked by more of the tall, blonde-haired beings. Inside, the air hummed with a subtle energy, and the walls seemed to radiate a soft, warm light. And then, Bird found himself standing before a figure who radiated an aura of wisdom and authority, a being who seemed to embody the very essence of this extraordinary place. "Welcome, Admiral Bird," the being greeted, his voice deep and resonant, filled with an ageless wisdom. I am the master of this realm, and I have summoned you here for a purpose. Bird, his mind still struggling to grasp the reality of his situation, could only nod, his heart pounding in his chest. Section 4. A Message for Mankind. As Bird sat before the master, his mind raced with questions, his senses overwhelmed by the grandeur and otherworldliness of his surroundings. The master, his gaze piercing yet kind, seemed to read Bird's thoughts, a knowing smile playing on his lips. "You are wondering where you are, Admiral," the master began, his voice soft yet carrying an unmistakable air of authority. "You are in the inner earth, a realm hidden from the eyes of mankind for millennia." The master's words, spoken with such matter-of-fact certainty, sent a shiver down Bird's spine. It was a truth too incredible to comprehend, yet here he was, living proof of its existence. "We have been watching your world," the master continued, his voice laced with a hint of sadness, "observing your progress, your triumphs, and your follies. And we have come to a grave decision. The time has come for us to reveal ourselves to your kind, for the fate of your world now hangs in the balance." Section 1. A World on the Brink. Admiral Bird, his heart pounding in his chest, listened intently as the master, his voice resonating with an ancient wisdom, spoke of a world teetering on the precipice of self-destruction. The master's words, though spoken with a calm demeanor, carried a weight that pressed down on Bird's soul, a stark warning that echoed through the vast chamber. "Your world, Admiral," the master began, his gaze fixed on Bird, "is at a crossroads. The path you have chosen, the path of war and destruction, has brought you to the brink of an abyss. Your weapons, your technology, they have outpaced your wisdom. You have become like children playing with fire, oblivious to the inferno that rages within." Bird, his mind still struggling to grasp the magnitude of the master's words, could only nod, his throat tight with a mixture of fear and foreboding. He had witnessed firsthand the destructive power of mankind's inventions, the horrors of war, the senseless violence that seemed to plague his world. The master, his gaze filled with a profound sadness, continued, his words painting a grim picture of a future consumed by darkness. "You have unleashed forces, Admiral, that you do not fully comprehend. The atom, the very building block of your universe, has become a weapon in your hands, a tool of annihilation. And unless you change your ways, unless you abandon this path of self-destruction, you will surely reap the whirlwind." Bird, his mind racing, thought of the mushroom clouds he had seen in newsreels, the devastation wrought by those terrible weapons. Was this the future the master spoke of? A world consumed by fire and shadow, a wasteland of mankind's own making? The thought sent a chill down his spine, a stark reminder of the fragility of human existence. "Your pursuit of power, Admiral," the master continued, his voice laced with a hint of warning, "has blinded you to the consequences of your actions. You have forgotten the ancient wisdom, the balance that sustains all life. You have become slaves to your own creations, your technology a double-edged sword that threatens to consume you all." As the master spoke, his words echoing through the chamber, Bird felt a glimmer of hope pierce through the darkness of his despair. For even in the midst of his dire pronouncements, the master offered a ray of light, a chance for redemption. "But all is not lost, Admiral," the master said, his voice softening, a hint of compassion in his eyes. "There is still time for your world to change course, to avert the disaster that looms on the horizon. The choice, however, is yours to make. The path ahead will be fraught with challenges, with trials that will test the very core of your being." Bird, his heart pounding in his chest, listened intently, his mind clinging to the master's words as a drowning man clings to a lifeline. "You have been chosen, Admiral," the master continued, his gaze piercing Bird's soul, "to carry a message back to your world, a message of warning, but also a message of hope. Tell them what you have seen here. Tell them of the consequences of their actions. Tell them that there is another way, a path of peace and harmony, a path that leads to a brighter future." The weight of the master's message settled upon Bird's shoulders like a physical burden. He carried not just the knowledge of this hidden world, but the fate of his own. The master, his eyes filled with a wisdom that seemed to span eons, placed a hand on Bird's shoulder, a gesture of understanding and farewell. "Your journey back to the surface world will be swift, Admiral," the master assured him, his voice calm and reassuring. "Our brothers will guide you." As if on cue, the two tall beings who had escorted Bird into the city reappeared, their expressions unreadable. With a gentle nudge, they guided him back towards the platform where his plane awaited. The return flight was a blur, a whirlwind of emotions and sensations that Bird struggled to process. The lush valley, the majestic mountains, the impossible city, they all seemed to melt away as if they were nothing more than figments of a vivid dream. Yet, deep down, Bird knew that what he had experienced was all too real. Upon landing back at base camp, the full weight of his experience crashed down upon Bird. The familiar surroundings of his world seemed somehow smaller, less significant, in the shadow of the vast, hidden realm he had glimpsed. His crew, their faces etched with concern, bombarded him with questions, eager to hear tales of his journey. But Bird, bound by the master's instructions and the weight of the secret he now carried, remained tight-lipped. He could not share the wonders he had seen, the message he had been entrusted with. Not yet. The time, he knew, was not right. The world, still reeling from the aftermath of a devastating war, was not ready to confront the truth. He was debriefed by military officials, their faces grim, their questions probing. Bird, careful to reveal only what he deemed necessary, spoke of strange magnetic anomalies, of disorientation, of instrument malfunctions. He made no mention of the hidden land, the advanced civilization, the master's warning. That knowledge, he knew, was too dangerous, too volatile to share with a world on the brink. Admiral Richard Byrd lived out his remaining years under a heavy cloak of secrecy, the weight of his Arctic encounter a constant companion. The diary, if it was indeed his own hand that filled its pages, remained hidden, its revelations deemed too dangerous, too disruptive for a world grappling with the dawn of the atomic age. Byrd's official reports, sanitized and redacted, hinted at strange anomalies, unexplained phenomena, but the true nature of his discovery remained locked away, a secret shared only with a select few. The world, hungry for tales of exploration and discovery, received only a carefully curated version of Byrd's Arctic adventure, a narrative stripped of its most fantastic elements. Did Byrd, in those final years, ever regret his silence? Did he yearn to share the wonders he had witnessed, the message he had been entrusted with, but held back, bound by duty and the fear of inciting panic or disbelief? The answers, like so many aspects of Byrd's life and legacy, remain elusive, lost to the passage of time. Admiral Byrd's story, even in its fragmented and censored form, continues to resonate, a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. The allure of a hidden world, a realm of advanced beings and untold wonders, continues to capture the imagination, fueling countless books, films, and conspiracy theories. The Hollow Earth, once relegated to the fringes of scientific thought, has found new life in the digital age, its proponents poring over satellite imagery, ancient texts, and of course the enigmatic entries in Byrd's alleged diary, searching for evidence to support their beliefs. Whether Byrd's account was a product of his imagination, a misinterpretation of natural phenomena, or a genuine glimpse into a reality beyond our comprehension, it serves as a potent reminder of the vastness of our universe and the limits of our understanding. The quest to unravel the mysteries of the unknown, to push the boundaries of human knowledge and experience, is a journey that continues to this day, driven by the same spirit of adventure and thirst for discovery that propelled Admiral Byrd into the icy heart of the Arctic so many years ago.